Hey guys, so in this video I will be doing an in-depth analysis of Viacom stock. The symbol for them is VAIB. If you're new to this channel, I make videos on the stock market and investing, so if you're interested in that, consider subscribing, and let's get right into the video. So Viacom is a major media company with TV channels like Spike, MTV, Comedy Central, and Nickelodeon, as well as many more. Internationally, they have Channel 5 in the UK and Telefe in Argentina. They also have Paramount Pictures as part of their filmed entertainment segment, so they do have quite a bit of content as a company. Viacom has been struggling quite a bit recently. Since 2014, they are down almost 70%, and this is a massive decline. I think that they have been sold off a bit too much, and they are now an attractive buying opportunity. The main reason for this decline in share price is because the revenue for Viacom and the earnings for Viacom have been falling quite a bit since 2014. Viacom also recently decided that they were going to cut ad loads across their networks. This will lead to a bit of a decrease in revenue, but it will hopefully make the viewing experience better, which is what they were intending to do. They also had some decline in ratings for many of their shows since 2014, but recently that has started to turn around, and most of their major networks had ratings increases in the last quarter. They also had restructuring charges in 2016, which was mostly to clean up the mess that they were in, but this did include $156 million that they had to pay out in severance packages to former executives. And then Viacom channels were removed from Charter Communications' basic package and were placed in a higher tier package, which is not good for Viacom as well. However, with their new management, they have a new CEO. They've had him for a little under a year. They have started to make a nice turnaround. As you can see, their revenue has been going up since Q3 2016, and their net income has been doing pretty well also. So this is great to see. I really do think that they have started a turnaround. As you can see here, their revenue was up, their operating income was up, their EPS was up, and their operating cash flow was up. Now keep in mind they did sell their stake in Epix, which did contribute to their EPS and operating free cash flow being up, but I still think that they are undergoing a nice turnaround. They have also had strong growth internationally. As you can see, domestic, they are about flat, but internationally, they were up 8% year over year, and this is actually 13% if you account for negative effects of currency. So they're doing very well internationally, and I hope that this growth can continue, and I think that it will continue. As you can see here, they are doing a great job delevering their balance sheet. They have paid down $2 billion in debt, or reduced their debt by 15% since announcing their plans to delever on February 9th. And this is great to see. It will make them less risky. It'll mean they have to pay less interest. So I'm glad to see that they're doing this. They also have $425 million in cash, which they can use for investing and all sorts of stuff with that. They also don't have very many debt maturities coming up. As you can see, their first debt maturity isn't for 2 years in 2019. So that means that they will not have any upcoming debt maturities. Here are some of Viacom's performance highlights. I'm just reading them out from their earnings report. So they say that the company secured a groundbreaking partnership with Atlas USA, which ensures continued distribution of Viacom's premier networks in the Cablevision system, returns Viacom programming to Suddenlink customers, expands next-generation branded content offerings for viewers, and leverages our industry-leading advertising products across multiple platforms and screens. Viacom also entered into a multi-year talent agreement with Tyler Perry that encompasses television, film, short form, and digital video. The partnership will bring Perry's signature brand of storytelling to Viacom's audience. Sequential quarterly improvements in domestic ad sales, revenues, and momentum from the U.S. upfront indicate the company's flagship brand strategy and renewed commitment to partnerships are resonating. Under 6 months of new leadership, MTV recorded year-over-year ratings growth in June for the first time since 2011 and claimed 4 of the top 30 cable series in the quarter, including a rebooted Fear Factor, the network's highest-rated new series in the last 2 years. BET experienced its strongest June year-over-year ratings growth in 4 years, and July was the network's second consecutive month of year-over-year ratings growth. Comedy Central's The Daily Show with Trevor Noah continued its ratings climb as cable's #1 daily late-night talk show with millennials, recording its highest-rated and most-watched quarter ever. and Nickelodeon continued to dominate the ratings in its major demographics with 9 of the top 10 shows for kids 2 to 11 and 4 of the top 5 shows for kids 2 to 5. It grew year-over-year ratings by 5% and has remained the #1 kid network for 8 consecutive quarters. Revenue-weighted share of Viacom's international media networks portfolio of flagship brands increased 6% internationally, while Channel 5 outperformed the market and grew share for 6th straight quarter. The successful integration of Telefe continued as the network maintained its strong market leadership in Argentina. So overall, I think there has been quite a bit of strong performance from Viacom's brands recently. I think that this definitely shows that there is a bit of a turnaround underway, and hopefully this turnaround can continue and that in the future their share price will reflect their recent successes. Here are the performance highlights for the filmed entertainment segment. In June, Paramount announced the establishment of Paramount Players, a new production division that will develop, produce, and market feature films in collaboration with Viacom's flagship brands. Awesomeness TV's founder Brian Robbins will lead the division as president. The studio recently named accomplished filmmaker and producer Morelli Sora as president of Paramount Animation to oversee the group's operations and work with Viacom's teams to guide the creative development and production of animated feature slate. Transformers: The Last Knight opened to #1 in the US and in 53 markets internationally, including China. And Paramount TV continued to strengthen its portfolio with 16 shows ordered to production and over 15 projects in development. Remaining fiscal 2017 releases include new seasons of Shooter, Berlin Station, and Nickelodeon's School of Rock, which was recently nominated for a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Children's Program. So now for a look at Viacom's valuation. They are currently trading at a 7.6 price to earnings. Their average price to earnings over the last 10 years has been 13, so they're trading at a significant discount to their historical price to earnings, which I think is a good opportunity. For another look at valuation, we can look at their enterprise value over EBITDA, which is 7.5 right now, which is another good sign. That is a pretty cheap valuation. They currently also have a forward PE of 7, which is very cheap. I think that they are definitely undervalued using these valuation metrics, and I think that there is definitely a good opportunity to buy Viacom right now. Another major catalyst is Viacom launching a streaming service with a bunch of other media networks. It will be a sports-free streaming service, so this will be companies like Discovery, Viacom, AMC, and Scripps Network, as well as A&E, which is co-owned by Disney and Hearst. So I think that this is a great sign. Sports make up a lot of the cost of a traditional cable package, and so the people who don't watch sports, I think, will be likely to switch over to this because they can still get a lot of these shows that they love without needing to pay extra for sports. Now for a quick look at their dividend, they have a 2.87% dividend, which is definitely nice to see. They have a very low payout ratio at around 22%. So I'm very happy with this. I think that it's a low payout ratio. I don't think they're going to be focused on raising their dividend. They're more focused on de-levering their balance sheet. But if they are trading flat for a bit while the market notices their turnaround more, then you will still be getting paid a bit of a dividend to wait for that turnaround. So I think that Viacom is definitely a stock worth checking out. However, I do think that they are pretty risky because they're a smaller company, they are undergoing a transition period, and they are in an ever-changing content and media environment, which will be difficult to navigate. I think that they're doing a good job, but I do think that there will be some risks involved. I don't own any Viacom stock currently, but I am seriously considering entering into a long position. I think they're starting to turn around their domestic business. Their ratings have been up for most of their shows domestically. Internationally, they have been showing strong growth, which is great. I also think that the creation of their non-sport streaming service will be a great way for them to fight the cord cutting that has been hurting them recently. I also think that in terms of valuation, they are dirt cheap, trading at a 7 forward price to earnings and a 7.5 price to earnings with a 7.5 EV over EBITDA. So I think in general, they are definitely super cheap and that the concerns for them are a bit overblown. So what are your guys' opinions on Viacom? Do you think they will successfully be able to execute a turnaround, or do you think that they will continue to struggle? Leave a comment down below with your opinions on them. If you are not subscribed already, consider subscribing. I make videos on the stock market and investing. And if you liked this video, leave a like down below. Thank you guys for watching.